This workshop is about values-based coaching stances. So many of us as coaches, we interact with people all of the time, but if we aren't grounded and know who we are and how we stand and how we present as coaches, we could be lost. This workshop actually came about as a result of dinner after the Washington, D.C. Agile conference last autumn. I was there with a lot of other Agile coaches, and this woman at the other end of the table started talking about values-based resumes. And I turned to her and I said, that has legs. Carrie and I have we spend probably 1 or 2 nights a month on the phone now, talking about coaching stances, about values-based anything. Because that standpoint, we needed to be so strong that people have that grounding, that we have that root. So this workshop is about, number 1, understanding what a coaching stance is. Number 2, why you need to have a coaching stance. Number 3, how to go about creating one. Number 4, how to coach within those boundaries, so identifying them and then staying within them. And then number 5, we're going to work with you to help you begin to develop that coaching stance by asking really good, powerful questions, getting you to the basis of where you are. So looking around the room here, how many people right now have a coaching stance? No coaching stances. Then this is the workshop for you, okay? So number 1, when you think about coaching stances, what you will often see is that people might use something called an atomic flower. So we'll have a center point and we'll have 5 values coming off the side. And this was something brought about by Michael Spade and Lisa Adkins. They started developing these because it came out of coactive coaching. And it was really helpful, not just for the coach, but also when he or she would get into situations where she didn't necessarily know, okay, what's going to happen? But because that coaching stance had already sent that person through, they had a really good understanding of who they were or who they are, what they wanted to stand for, and how they wanted to be with either a team or a person as an individual, okay? That got me thinking a little bit further. When I developed my own coaching stance the first time, I did something that I've affectionately called the lifesaver role, where I had different values, and then I would also have words that helped me to recognize those values and how I wanted to be in them. And this works really well for a coaching stance. I will also tell you that I've actually also used it when I've interviewed in the past to show potential employers how I will show up with teams, how I will show up with people, and they were just blown away. They hadn't seen anything like this. But when Carrie and I started working some more on this topic, wind roses started coming to mind. Does anybody know what a wind rose is?
Yeah.
So if you think of old maps, you would see something down in the corner of said map, and it would give you the directions. It would be the cartography, but it would also tell you, it would always tell you, number 1, where north was, but over on the east side, it would also have a cross for a Jerusalem cross because that was where the east was. This would also tell you directions of the wind. So Carrie and I, we really got to starting to think about these coaching stances because we want a coaching stance that is going to resonate like a bell, like a gong, because this is a really important part of who you are. So working with a friend of mine who's a UX designer, he and I did a lot of work together on developing a pictorial-based coaching stance using, number 1, not only the ordinal directions, but then all of the halfway points in between. And here it is right here in front of you, or at least it would be if I had a slide. This resonated so hard with Carrie and myself because you could see the wind as it would be coming in and how you wanted to shift. I've also used this coaching stance myself, thinking, as different problems might come in with a person or with a team, and I really wasn't certain what to do. And so Carrie and I were doing a coaching session one night. She's like, Erin, what does your coaching stance tell you to do? And I looked at it, I'm like, oh, well, it's right there. There's all 5 things right there that I'm like, oh. So stand there, have that deep root in those coaching stances. But why we want to do this as a workshop is because this is such a useful tool for coaches, for scrum masters, for people as they want to work with teams. So this will be a part where we go around and with questions that we've developed to help dig these values out of yourself, learn what they are, and how you want to present them. So we will send you home, not with just the beginning of a coaching stance, but then the follow-on, how you go through and you can complete that coaching stance as a whole. So this will be, as you know, Mile High, it has a 2-hour workshop category there. And we've set this all up. You can see it in our Google Doc that we've attached to this. Carrie is a very experienced coach and mentor. She does a lot of work through apiary coaching. She does a lot of work with business people. She also coaches internationally, and they're leading a program to help Scrum Masters with deep mentoring, so they have that kind of experience as well. I have a few years of experience as an Agile coach myself. I presented a lot at Agile Austin around town. I lead different coaching SIGs, very experienced with Women in Agile, and I'm starting to present at larger gatherings as well, such as DC Agile last autumn. That went really well. It was a high point, frankly, I think, of my year so far. This topic is really personal to us because it has such potential to help people really dig in and know who they are. Thank you.